What are some street smarts everyone should know? I grew up in a pretty rough neighborhood in Chicago, and probably the best thing you should do when walking by yourself at night is pay attention to every car. Usually they'll drive past you and scope you out. If you look like a target, you'll see that car again. Or they'll meet you farther down your path while you're walking past an alley. Always be ready for something when walking past an alley and stay close to the houses. That way if anything's suspicious, you can run into a backyard. If someone asks your shoe size, start walking lol. This gave me some bad memories of growing up in a shitty neighborhood. Hey bro, what size shoes you got? Is not a question you want to hear at 1 AM on a Friday night from someone you didn't even see. Lock your doors as soon as you're in your car. Before using any ATM, tug hard on the plastic card reader. Scammers often put a fake one on top that steals your info. Just because someone is friendly with you doesn't mean they have a good heart. One of the hardest lessons I've had to learn is that nice is different than good. Apostrophe. Don't ever tell the cab driver you don't know where you're going. Why? Because they will take longer routes to charge you more if you don't know the area. If you are in any sort of confrontation and someone balls their fist and looks away for a second, or even just looks away for a second, you should be prepared for the possibility of a sucker punch. Wear shoes you can run the duck away in. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. If you're driving and hit black ice, just take foot off gas, but don't brake until the slide stops. If you're ever locked up and some of the guys are playing cards and you happen to see a card fell into one of their laps, don't try and be helpful and point out that they dropped a card. Is that stranger being overly nice to you? Are you on the sidewalk? Are you alone? The reason it feels like something is wrong is because something is wrong. Nobody approaches you on the street because they want to do something for you. It's always because they want something from you. When walking in an unfamiliar city or trail, look back regularly. It will help you to remember landmarks that will guide you back home. Here are a few of street smarts that makes it harder for pickpockets to steal your stuff. Do not keep your wallet in the back pocket of your jeans. This is a super easy place for pickpocket to take it from. When in crowded touristy areas, it sometimes is better to wear your backpacks or purses to the front of your body. If you sit down in a restaurant, keep your backpack in front of your feet. Be especially aware of your belongings when there is a bit of pushing, like when entering a subway or metro wagon. Be alert in situations where a potential group of thieves try to distract you, for example, by asking you for directions on a map. While you are distracted by showing the person the directions, another thief will open your bags and take your stuff without noticing. Edit. Another thing to look out are people in European cities asking for cash donations for the blind, deaf or handicapped. The huge majority of them are not for real charities but just to A, get some money from me, and B, more importantly for an accomplice to see where you store your wallet. If a group of people suddenly get down, so do you. You might be correct when you have the right of way, but you're still the one that's going to be dead when you get whacked by the car if you're walking or on your bike. If you're walking and someone approaches, don't break stride. You can carry on a conversation while walking, but people who are looking to proselytize, sell you something, or mug you will want you to slow or stop to address them. If they want to chat, make them keep up with you. You can even tell them that you're in a rush but would love to talk and walk. They'll likely find someone more stationary, because if you can make a person slow, you can make them stop. If you can make them stop, you've already adjusted their priorities and placed yourself at the top. It's a subtle power game. Keep going where you're going, and you retain your power. Stop and cat, and you've given it up and opened yourself to possible problems. You won't get mugged if you look like you're going to mug someone. That reminds me of a comedian. He was going about the scales of not getting mugged/fought, and he was like, act crazy. No one is going to try and fight a crazy person. Don't tell even close friends the amount of money you have on you. I was set up by an 18-year-old female coworker this week. She seemed like a sweetheart and was giving me rides to work for a few days. I asked on the Monday if we could go to bank as I needed to cash a check for roughly $4,500. Minutes after dropping me near house, I was robbed at gunpoint of everything by two guys. They knew how much they were looking for. The robber said he watched me leave bank, but the police saw on camera near home that they had been waiting for me for an hour. One of the robbers was her ex/current boyfriend, it turns out. If there is one house that looks occupied on a mostly empty street with burnt down houses, that's a trap house. Always know where the exits are in any place that you enter so that you don't get lost in an emergency. Also, never place yourself in a hole in public where there is only one entrance and exit and no other people around. These are often crime hotspots. When we would rarely go out to eat as a family, my pops would only sit facing the door. I never thought anything of it until I was grown. Do not trust taxi drivers if you are a tourist. I'm not a tourist, and I still don't trust taxi drivers. Always ask for only one scoop of ice cream first, because they make single scoops bigger. Then act like you changed your mind and ask for a second scoop. They will be pressured to match the size of the first scoop, providing you with a massive amount of ice cream. Never do drugs in situations you don't know about. Could be someone spikes it, takes advantage by robbing, rape, kidnapping, whatever it is. Always be paying attention. Edit, misspelled word. Edit 2. Everyone's talking about the drugging, which is good awareness, and it's sad to hear so many stories. I just wanted to emphasize the always be paying attention part 2. Don't let anything take your attention away when you're in a new/potentially dangerous situation. I should have elaborated more on that too. If you're going to be away on holiday or somewhere you're unfamiliar with for any length of time, it's a good idea to try to always make sure that someone knows roughly where you're going to be and what you're going to be doing on a given day. Even if you're like me and you don't like to plan out a full itinerary, a rough indication of what your plans might be can help work out your movements if ever there is an issue. When it comes to knife fights, the loser dies in the street, the winner dies in the hospital. Street smarts to give your kids. If you get lost, find the closest adult with kids. I saw this in action once at Disneyland when a 4-year-old kid approached me and my kiddos while we were eating. She joined us very calmly, introduced herself, and said her parents gave her the above advice. I heard her parents shouting her name not long after, and the relief on their faces was a sight. Never flash your whole wad of cash in a public place while paying for something. Keep a few bucks loose in one pocket for spending. Keep the majority of your cash in a separate pocket. Don't open a wallet full of all your money where other people can see you. My elderly customers always do this, and it gives me hives. Like, Eileen, why do you have like 400 in there? Put it the duck away. Come on, Eileen. Be aware of surroundings. Look like you belong either through body language, attire, or occupation, without being oblivious to things around you. The moment you look lost, out of place, or unsure is the moment you can look like a good target. If someone is looking at you with an expression questioning why you are there, be prepared to answer it with confidence and give an answer they would accept, or be prepared to leave before they can ask. I moved to East Street, Paul, in a pretty bad neighborhood. My first day there I walked to the liquor store, paid, and put my wallet back into my back pocket. The dude working the shop was like, you should put that in your front pocket on your coat. So I realized pretty quick how bad my neighborhood was. A good rule of thumb is just to trust your instincts. If people look like they want to be left alone, they probably do, and it's not your business why. Make it clear you don't give a duck what they are doing, and better yet, don't even notice them. They might be uninterested in bothering you and just trying to do their business. But once your eyes are on them, now you're a problem to them. You don't want to be a problem to them. This worked well when I also lived on 38th/Chicago in South Minneapolis and would frequently walk to Cup Foods or Chicago Lake Liquors. There was a crew who would be posted on the corner that I avoided eye contact with, and everything worked out fine. This isn't only about survival in a sketchy neighborhood but all relationships. Your instincts tell you a lot about situations. They exist for a reason. You don't need to question them or challenge them logically, with the exception of severe mental illness. If you feel like somebody's lying, they probably are. If you feel like someone likes you, they probably do. If you feel like an opportunity is good, it probably is. All this being said, being in a sketchy neighborhood isn't all about danger. There's lots of lovely people, and as an alcoholic I'd frequently chat up my neighbors and shoot the shit when I was out and about. Just trust your instincts of their body language, leave me alone vs friendly, and don't start talking unless you got something funny or interesting to say lol. Adults do not ask children for help. Every answer on the street in a not so nice area is no. Hey, can I have a cigarette? No. Hey, you got the time? No. Hey, can I borrow your phone to make a call? No. Semicolon. Stick up men wanna see your hands. If they can see your hands, they know you don't have a weapon and will be easier to rob. This reminds me of a comedian who was saying the best way to stay safe in a rough neighborhood is to fake a Russian accent cause Russians are terrifying. If somebody asks you your name, have a fake generic name and use it all the time. Mike, Dave, and John will do. Pay attention when you cross the street on foot. No matter who has the right of way, the vehicle will destroy you, lightly or heavily. Thanks. Be aware of your surroundings and trust your gut. Women should not be afraid to appear rude. The book Gift of Fear has lots of great info. Walk fast and look pissed off. If the situation doesn't feel right, it's not right. Trust your spidey sense. If someone shouts get down, apostrophe, don't ask why, apostrophe. If you are forced to walk through a bad/dangerous neighborhood, keep your chin up and maintain a confident and comfortable look on your face. Nothing screams abuse me more than an out of place person waking around with their chin down, looking at the sidewalk. I learned this after visiting a new girlfriend many years ago in a bad section of Philly. I was walking down the street towards her house and a local female walking by my said, "Keep that chin up around here, white boy." The more I considered that advice, the more logical it sounded. Shut your ducking mouth. It doesn't matter how angry you are or what they said to you. Shut your ducking mouth and walk away. Bruised ego is better than shot dead. From experience. 1. If you're alone on the street and you think you're being followed, immediately call someone. Forget about conversation starters and give away your location. You should add "I think I'm being followed." Speak loudly enough so the person you think is following you hears you doing it. If you're right and they were following you, that will be a big turn off. If you're wrong, you have nothing to lose. 2. It might sound harsh, but if anyone approaches you and asks to use your phone for anything, especially emergency related, don't fall for it. They will usually tell you what the emergency is. So walk away. Tell them you don't have a phone/whatever. And for your inner peace, call the emergency and give away that person's location. Tell them exactly what the person told you. Either they really needed help and you're sending it their way, or they tried to trick you into something horrible and will most likely try it again with the next passerby. 3. Whenever you are, plan ahead and blend in with the crowd. I mean, don't dress all fancy in the hood kinda thing. 4. Please, for the love of God, stop using your earphones while on the street. At least try to only have one earbud in if you can't help it. It's not healthy. Ear fatigue, potential risks to your hearing, etc. But at least it won't completely cover the background noises. If you feel uncomfortable in a metro/underground car, slip out as the doors are closing. For bonus security, travel back 1 to 3 stops, then resume your journey. Having been mugged once, I'm gonna make M work for it if there is a next time. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Stay safe. Please subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.